In my last Film Friday Switched at Birth video, I did not give the show all of the credit that it really deserves. So for this video, that's exactly what we're gonna do. Hi, how are you? Welcome back to the channel. It's that time of year again when it's starting to feel like it's becoming 100 degrees in apartments. Thank you, Charlotte, North Carolina. Let me know in the comments below what the weather is like where you live right now. So we're doing like an add-on to the Switched at Birth Film Fridays episode. That video got a lot of good comments and thoughts, things like that. And you all reminded me of a lot of really good scenes that I completely forgot about. Like I said in that video, it's been so long and there's so many seasons that it's hard to keep track of everything unless I took a whole year to rewatch the series. So I want to talk about 3 specific scenes that Switched at Birth did really well. The first one being when Emmett is being arrested and handcuffed. Emmett got arrested for trespassing and posting Bay's art in an area where it simply was not allowed. Hey, if you're breaking a law, you're breaking the law. But police in real life really don't know how to handle deaf people, whether they are mainstreamed or grew up signing. So Emmett is working on something in the garage outside, and he sees this big old black car pulling to the driveway. It's nighttime, which is a little bit of a disaster for deaf people sometimes. And some people get out of the car, 2 men I believe, and they have flashlights, and Emmett's kind of like, hey, what's going on? Because the really big car is flashing really bright lights, and the police are shining flashlights in his eyes. Us deaf people, we need light when it's dark out to, be able to see you, but when there's too much light and we're being blinded by the light, it's not gonna work out too well. And so the cops are trying to talk to him, and it's just, he has no idea what's going on, and he's trying to gesture to the cops that he's deaf. All they do instead is that they throw him down on the ground and handcuff him with his hands behind his back. A big no if you're gonna handcuff deaf people. One of the things that cops do is read your Miranda rights when you are being arrested, and you are going to be asked if you acknowledge these rights, right? But Emmett cannot do that because he simply is not hearing what is being said. Also, when you handcuff a deaf person's hands behind their back, if they grew up signing, if ASL is their language, you are taking their method of communication away from them. Fortunately, I have never been arrested, but just imagining that happening is really scary for me, and that's happened to so many other deaf people. I actually have a police brutality against deaf people, which I will link up here, and my pal Matt Maxey was also involved in the video, so if you want to know more about police brutality, go check that out. The second scene is when Regina is at her salon, and it's nighttime. She's supposed to be closing up, but I believe the salon is actually still open. It wasn't locked, and Daphne is stopping by. She wants to go talk to her mom, whatever it is, that families do. Can't relate. And Daphne walks on in there. Regina is hearing that somebody is coming in. Is she aware that it's Daphne? No. Regina has a gun, and she verbally shouts that she is armed to try to scare off the thief. Daphne cannot hear that Regina is saying that she is armed because, hi, Daphne is deaf, of course. And then, the two get closer and closer, and eventually Regina is just 1 second away from actually shooting Daphne or the thief. That would not have ended well. I actually have a bit of a personal experience with this. When I was visiting someone in Toronto a few years ago, they had this idea of a little prank where they would come in from work and they were going to shut off all the lights. I thought the power was simply going out, and then I got a little freaked out because it was one light at a time, and it's about 3 a.m. and I'm just getting really scared. I can't see anything, and I'm kind of creeping over, and I'm trying to find some sort of weapon. Lo and behold, that person is there, and I got so scared, and I was freaking out. I was crying, and it turned out to be a whole misunderstanding because I was getting a Snapchat to let me know that he was coming home, but I never received it. But still, if I had had a weapon, and if I had tried to swing it at him, if I had a knife or something, that really would have ended very badly. And the third scene, and this is something so relatable to me. Natalie, a friend, is involved in a car accident. She and Travis were trying to walk across the street, and a car hits them, they go to the hospital. You watch the scene when Daphne is walking to the hospital, she talks to Travis, and then she's going to Natalie's hospital room and wants to know what's going on, and Natalie says that she has absolutely no idea what's going on. Nobody's talking to her, there's no accessible communication. A nurse comes in and Daphne's like, hey, what's going on? There's no interpreter. Natalie has no idea what's going on, and where are the interpreters? And the nurse is kind of like, can you do it? You don't ask a family member, a friend, or any non-actual interpreter to interpret. One, I believe there's a personal conflict of interest thing. And two, no, by law, there is a right to an interpreter at a hospital to get the information that you need because, hello, you are sick, dying, injured, whatever. And okay, so Daphne's agreeing to interpret because there's nothing else, there's nobody else available. And when the nurse starts talking, she does that thing that gets on my nerves so much, looking away so that Daphne kind of isn't able to really understand. I mean, she understands because Daphne is a special unicorn who is able to lip read anything in any direction. And this is why you don't get your family friend, especially a deaf family friend, to interpret. It helps to have a hearing interpreter because the nurse or the doctor is going to be turning in every other direction. Hearing interpreter is going to be able to hear that and interpret. Daphne could have risked not being able to relay the proper information if she wasn't going to be able to understand everything that the nurse said. Natalie says that her back hurts. It's about a 7 on the pain scale. Daphne tells the nurse, hey, can she get a painkiller because she's in a lot of pain? And the nurse is like, cool, let's go get it, alright? And as she's rummaging through the medicine cabinet, Natalie says that she's allergic to something. I don't remember the name of it. Daphne turns around, she goes, she's allergic to this medication. The nurse is literally holding the medication that Natalie is allergic to. Why are you not asking for the person's medical information? And it's at this point when Daphne really goes off and I'm like, hell yes. It's just, you go, girl. Natalie could have died. It's your job to have an interpreter, etc., etc. And the nurse goes, well, we don't have a contract with the interpreter on the weekends. It's hospital policy. And Daphne's like, so deaf people are just supposed to not get hurt on the weekends? Daphne asked about a video phone. The nurse says, well, we have one, but we can't find it because video phones just go off running away for whatever reason. Also annoying because there's no communication that is being given to this patient that is in need and has the right to these accessibility features. Of course, Daphne keeps on going off and the nurse is going, well, we're doing the best we can. What is the best we can? You're not actually doing anything. You didn't ask for Natalie's medical history. There was no effort into writing down what's going on a piece of paper. Yes, not all deaf people are fluent in English, but I'm pretty sure Natalie has a pretty good grasp on the English language, so you could have easily written down allergic to any medication instead of risking killing her. And when the nurse says, this doesn't happen very often, and Natalie goes, it's happening right now. That's it. That's all you need. The fact that it is happening right now. It shouldn't be happening not very often. Fact is, it shouldn't be happening at all. And the whole this doesn't happen very often. Maybe it doesn't happen very often at that hospital. But the reality is that it has happened a lot in real life. I've read articles about a deaf pregnant woman in Miami who I believe had two incidences with a hospital in Florida. I know it's Florida. All you need to know is the word Florida and you just go, oh my god. There was no real communication, no accessibility. I remember reading an article about a man who died because he didn't have the accessibility that he needed and he wasn't understanding what he needed to do to get better, things like that. I will look these articles up and I will have them below in the description box, so if you want to go take a look at that, I'll have that for you. And the last thing that the nurse says is, well, no doctor or nurse here knows ASL. Again, get interpreters, find your video phone, or Third, pen and paper. Look, I have this beautiful traveler's notebook with lots of paper. You have notepads and things. You have a form. You wouldn't even have to write it down. You could just find the question and point to it. A couple of years ago, I was in a car accident. I had the same exact issue when I had to go be transported to the hospital. The nurses were not accommodating. I would tell them, I'm deaf, I can't hear you or understand you, especially with the towels on my ears wrapped around to keep my head all right and straight. And nobody would point to the clipboard with the piece of paper, and the doctor was turning around with his back to me, and my friend Whitney was with me as she was getting irritated with these people. It happens all too often. It shouldn't be. So yeah, those are the 3 scenes that Switched at Birth did really, really well, and I have to give credit where it's due on that. Overall, Switched at Birth, while not perfect, what show or movie is, well, if it's made by deaf people, then you know that we usually get it right. But Switched at Birth opened the doors for a lot of things. It had more people getting interested in deaf studies, deaf culture, wanting to be interpreters. I saw comments of people wanting to be a therapist and they wanted to learn ASL so that way therapy would be more accessible. I have a video on that in the future on this channel. Ignoring all the Degrassi-like drama and what have you, it's a good show. For the things that it does, it's a really good show. So question of the day to relate to this video, let me know, do you relate to any of these scenes that I mentioned? If you made it to the end of the video, thank you very much. I appreciate you watching. If you would like to help translate this video, I will have a translate link in the description box and or the pinned comment down below. Again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you later. Bye.